Have you ever heard the statement, many are called, but few are chosen? I've heard it too. But have you ever wondered, what does it really mean? And how does it fit in with the context of leadership, particularly in ministry and business? Well, I used to wrestle with this text, and I spent some time in seminary exegeting this text, and we're going to share about it. And so if you go to Matthew chapter 22 and 14, you'll see these words. Obviously, I'm going to be pulling up the blue letter right here because there's just so much in this text that I want to share with you. And right here in Matthew, they have the other piece here. Matthew 22 and verse 14, it says, "For many are called, but few are chosen." And as we get into this, it's really important that we're talking about called to chosen, right? Leadership. Leadership is a calling, but chosen is a choice. And so when we look at this verse, you all, we see that this verse starts off talking about a great feast. It's a parable. And Jesus answered and spake unto them, saying again in parables, "The kingdom of heaven is like a certain king which made a marriage for his son. And he sent forth his servants to call them that were hidden to the wedding, and they would not come. Again, he sent forth servants, and eventually he said, okay, you know what? Then I want you to go and find some other people. Behold, tell them about the dinner. And they didn't want to come. So he said, go to the hedges, to the highways, and many shall find, bid to the marriage." Okay. So you can read all of that, but I don't want, for the sake of time, I don't want to take too much of that time. But ladies and gentlemen, this verse found in this parable about this wedding feast really speaks a profound truth about God's invitation, the requirements, and a response that calls for levels of commitment in order to be chosen. So in today's world, doesn't matter if you're in a faith walk, or if you're dealing with business, you're dealing with personal life, you're going to encounter opportunities, many opportunities, if you will, that could be seen as calls. But it is in your response and your ability to respond, your wherewithal to respond to those calls is going to dictate how you live after the call itself. So then we're going to unpack this scripture. It's 3 main points, I'm going to share with you all what it means to be called, how to ensure you are counted among the chosen, and especially when it comes to living a life of purpose, both in business and faith. So the first thing, you all know me, the first thing we're going to talk about here is the call itself. Now, I've come to realize, you all, that the call has to be universal if we look at this text. Everyone is invited. So the first truth is that Jesus reveals in this passage is that many are called. You see, God's call to salvation, to purpose, and to service is extended to everyone. Everyone in the context of business has an ability to be a leader, has the ability to start a business. This means that everyone is presented with opportunities. It's not the man's fault. It's not their fault. It's not, people did you wrong all the time. Don't get me wrong. We do have some discrepancies in that area. But the reality of it is we all have opportunities from a kingdom perspective. So whether it's to start the business, if it's to grow the leadership team, if it's to increase in all of this, that makes a difference in the way you're going to approach your assignment and your work. So watch, for example, in business, talk about leadership, we often find that opportunities, remember the calls, let's say calls are the opportunities. Many going to come your way, whether it's a chance to start the new venture, of course, whether it's a promotion, a new client, opportunities, wherever they come, however they come, there are many opportunities. However, not everyone will take advantage of these chances called opportunities. Not everyone responds to God's spiritual invitation. And that's what's really, I need you to really understand, because there is another text, you all, that I was going to lift up this morning. And I'm going to tell you, I thought about it. It was from Psalm 75, verse 6-7. And it says, promotion cometh neither from the east nor the south, but from the east or the west, but from the south. But God is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another. And I could have went that route, and it would be right for the atmosphere. But then at the last minute, I heard the Lord say, talk to him and share about this. Because the other we know promotion comes from God. Deuteronomy 8:18, I give you the ability to get wealth. But if we don't understand the call, many people say you get called and this and that, but you don't understand. Everyone has an ability to call. To get a call, to receive a call, which is just an opportunity. So I want you to really consider that, because God's calling, people use this to kind of separate, sort, sift, and kind of beat up people. But I've come to realize, and I hope you see this, that God's call is not, it's not a good old boy club, if you will. It's not divisive. You see, just as the king in the parable invited many guests to the wedding feast, we are all invited to take part in the opportunities laid before us. So the call is not segregated. It's not some members only club. It's for everyone. But it's not enough just to be invited. We got to respond. So here's the second truth that I see in the text that help me really understand this. And that is simply the response. See, please understand this. Even put this in the chat. When you understand this revelation hits you, the response, how do we know that we responded to the call? The response to the call, you all, usually sets you apart. Let me see here. It sets you apart. So watch. The difference between being called and being chosen is it lies in your ability to respond in kind to what was given to you, which is the opportunity. So many people hear the call of God, but few take the steps that are necessary to fully embrace the call, which is the opportunity. So when we talk about business and particularly leadership, this is the difference between those who seize opportunities, take advantage of opportunities, and walk out the opportunity, and those who just watch them pass by for whatever reason. Not even going to get into the excuses and I don't this and my mindset, and I'll deal with that later. But for right now, I'm just saying, is it possible? And I've dealt with a lot of this, that sometimes people don't recognize the opportunity, that it was in fact from God, because there's just a little opposition, there's a little work that come with it. Guys, we live in a microwave society because of AI and technology. Everything's coming so fast. We're inundated with information left and right. But you still have to slow down so that you can hear God's voice. We pray, we fast, but I don't make moves without hearing God. Now, let me hear you. God gives me authority and dominion over certain things, but that is through time spent. I don't know who needed to hear this, but when you spend time with the Lord on a regular basis and you pray, you worship, you fast, guys, then in the decision-making process, you can hear his voice. It'll whisper to you, yeah, that's good, that's not good. It'll recall something that you, the Holy Spirit will recall something that you read or something that was taught to you years ago. All of that is a part of the response, because that will set you apart, because you'll start moving different. Think about it. Just like the people inviting to the wedding feast in the parable, we can be given an invitation to the party, to the great feast, the biggest of biggest opportunities. But if you fail to respond, let me say this. Well, what does that look like? Sometimes people can show up and still fail to respond. This is why you have to get ready and be prepared, because here's what'll happen, seriously. Two things that happen when great opportunities come to your life. If you are prepared and you are ready, then it will reveal you to your niche, to the world, to people who want to do business with you, and your business will scale and it'll be amazing. But if you get caught unprepared, not ready, it will expose you. And then your business will be over before it even got started. Seriously. I've seen and I've experienced some highs and lows. Thank God for grace that we can bounce back from some of these things, but who wants to go through all that? I say do it right the first time. Don't try to sidestep. Don't try to undercut. Follow the instructions. If you have a mentor, coach, leader, and you call them your mentor, coach, or leader, why is it so hard to follow their instructions when they have the results that you're trying to get? It isn't, is it? No, it's really not. So when you talk about being chosen, being chosen, you all, it requires more than just hearing the call. It requires action to that call. In business, in leadership, this means not having the idea, but putting the idea to work. Ideas are amazing, but a lot of people just read a lot of books and gather information. No, the difference is we read these books, we implement what's in these books, and then when the time comes, we can make a decision quickly, and then we can perform accurately. We can help people get the results that they deserve, that they already want. Remember, that's what selling is to me. Just helping people get what they already want. Okay? So this means you might have to make some sacrifices. Yeah. You might have to step out on faith. The Bible says the just shall live by faith. You may have to jump out and just jump off that edge, believing and knowing that God is going to catch you, that God has some wings for you, that the situation was already worked out before the problem even showed up. You got to make the most of the opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. The called. You might be called to leadership, but will you respond and answer? Because my job as a bishop, you all, an apostle, is to help people who are called get to the point to where they're operating in their chosen gifts, the chosen talents, if you will. So God's chosen are those who respond, watch this, with obedience, with faith, and readiness. Who shall I send? Send me, God. Who want the ball at the buzzer beater? I'll take it. I'll take the last buzzer beater shot. Why? Because I've prepared. I'm ready. I've practiced thousands of jump shots, if you're a basketball fan. Practice thousands of fundamentals shooting free throws. So here's the point of this. When you sense God calling you to lead in your business, to start a new venture or to shift a strategy, if you will, implement the strategy, it's not enough simply to recognize that it's an opportunity, you all, and you don't seize it. You must take action so that you can follow through. That's so key, mission critical, very essential if you really understand if you want to understand operating in leadership, higher levels of leadership, C-suite leadership and above and beyond. And the reality of it is, guys, many people are not willing to do that work. Sometimes they want it. We want that money. We want to get big. We want our business to grow, but we don't want to do that work. Your business is not going to scale. I don't care what small business, big business, 7-figure business, 6-figure business, you still have to have a work ethic that matches the level of results that you want. And so the last piece, the last truth that I see in this text, you all, final point, is commitment and preparation. Leadership requires commitment and preparation. Calling requires a response and an answer. So when you talk about being called, there's an incubation period between there that gets you to chosen. Chosen is the ethic, chosen is the work ethic, chosen is everything that comes along and the results from doing the work. So we look at this final point, and the lesson is that few are chosen. It's not because they couldn't be, it's not because they were better than someone. We all start off with the same chance, the same opportunity. We grew up on the same block. How is it that two people can grow up on the same block, have access to the same, but then this person don't do as well as this person? I get it. It could be family, it could be environment. One person had a mom and dad, another person didn't have both parents. I understand that. But the opportunities, guys, if we have the information the same, okay, so I'll take it even further. How can two siblings in the same household, mom and pop, good middle-class family, working families, one sibling go on to do good, the other sibling don't? They got access to the same food, the same love, the same nurturing care. Yeah, interesting. Why? To be chosen means you have to be willing to be fully committed and prepared. So that means you have to do this. You got to fully commit and prepare yourself for the near future, for what lies ahead, for pitfalls that can't even be seen. Decision makers make good decisions on the spot. That's what it means to grow that skill set. I start off with a certain thing in the assessment about decisions. It's a skill set. So watch this, y'all. In the parable of the wedding feast, the chosen guests were those who arrived prepared and dressed. Go back and read the text. They were prepared and dressed for the occasion. In the same way, those who are chosen in both their faith walk and their business life. That is a good equation for powerful, strong longevity. That's good leadership. The ones who prepare themselves. The song comes around, Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, tried and true. Listen, prepare yourself spiritually, prepare yourself mentally, prepare yourself physically, practically, emotionally for what is to come. That's why mentorship is so important. That's why studying and reading to show yourself approved is so important. These things matter, ladies and gentlemen, because when a problem comes up, when the rubber hit the road, this is when you realize what type of leader you are. Are you a failing leader, a faltering leader, a leader that when pressed can't stand or make the hard decision? Kings and queens have to be leaders, you all. CEOs and company heads, startups, venture capital, these are leaders. Now we have different forms of leadership, different styles of leadership. I'm not here to argue that fact or conjecture today. What I want to introduce you to is the fact that there's a difference between called and chosen. It's a process, if you will, to become leaders like this. And I believe every one of you have an ability to do that. So in your business journey, you want to make sure you're prepared. How do I do that favors? Commit to yourself, personal growth. That's what we're doing right here. I'm empowering you. I'm helping you grow by talking. Even if I'm just exposing you to a new book title or something of that nature, it will help you grow personally. Then what do you do with that information? You study it, you rehearse it, you meditate on it, and then you start to learn, you start to do it, which gives you a new skill, learning a new skill. Maybe I got to get somebody to teach me. Maybe I need to pay somebody to teach me. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, once you work on you and you develop these new skills, being diligent at tasks for God and your business, helping other people becomes easier and lighter. It's about living in alignment with the standards of kingdom business, kingdom economics, kingdom economy. That's why we say all the time that if you really understand the law of compensation, you can create your own economy in any economy. So if I don't have a job, I can't find a job, create one. Create a business. We weren't supposed to be working on jobs, no way, y'all. And I'm not against it, don't get me wrong. But we were supposed to be working in our craft, which means we were supposed to be working on the business that was assigned to us. So then if my business is such, now, once again, from a biblical perspective, business changed through the transliterations of words when it came out to Latin and the other ones to the Septuagint, the Latin Vulgate Bible to the Bible we have now, King James, then some of the other modern Bibles we have today. But the reality is business was your work and you were supposed to work for yourself, then go to the marketplace and barter and trade and make the money grow. Now I get it. Someone has to be an employee. Someone has to be the owner. I know that. But look at this process. I'm finna drop some knowledge real quick and I'm out of here. I can start off as an employee working until I develop the skill and learn, which means an employee job supposed to be a stepping stone for me to learn how to do my own business eventually. So everybody can go through that process because you have to be trained. So let me say this, being chosen is not about status, it's about readiness. Are you preparing yourself now for the opportunities that God is going to release and place before you, placing your path in the near future? Are you developing the discipline? Are you walking in faith? Are you trusting the required process that comes from being called to chosen? I told y'all this was a subject that was dear to me because I actually work out this process. Every time I get a new mentor, I start all over. Not saying I'm starting over. I start over mentally so that I can get everything that that mentor has to offer. I've had several mentors in my life because at each phase of my life, sometimes I need to learn something new. If you have a growth mindset, then you understand. I have mentors now, guys, depending on what I'm dealing with. When I was in leadership, I had to go get leadership mentorship. When I was in human personal growth and development, there was things that I didn't understand. So going and hooking up and connecting with Proctor Gallagher Institute was a wise decision. Just like John Maxwell, I'm certified in it. Wise decision. And so now I wanted to get sales. I had to find somebody like Joe Bauer who could really teach me how to speak, how to teach, how to present from stage with high ticket offers. I could sell low stuff. I've been doing that for a while. But I'm talking about high ticket offers. How do you even present and package a high value offer where people don't mind paying you $12 and $13 and $15,000 to help them get a transformation that's worth $100,000 to $200,000? Yo, that's not just the easiest thing to do. I paid the money. I went through the course. Took me a good year and a half, but now we have something that can give that type of 10x value. So I'm passionate about it because the call is open to everyone. But to those who respond in faith, to those who take action, those who prepare themselves, when the opportunity comes, they graduate from the school of the calling to the marketplace of the chosen. They're able to do business, conduct business, partner with big business. They're able to be proactive and see shifts in the market where they can position themselves. Yeah. So you may embrace many calls and opportunities, even in leadership. You can start these new projects. You can start a new business. You can write the book. But I'm saying get prepared now so that you can walk through the door of the chosen, so you can maintain your company, so you can scale it, so you can learn how to monetize it, so you can make money while you're sleeping, so you can free up your time to do whatever you want. Called to chosen leadership. This is Doc Favors, guys. Once again, it's my prayer that something was said that encouraged you, that empowered you, that inspired you to make a move, to get to the next level, to step out on faith and now say, you know what, I'm ready to go to that next level. As always, guys, do me a favor. If you got anything from this broadcast, hit the like button. Consider subscribing to the channel. Turn that bell notification on. And as always, hey, if I can do something to help you, drop some comments down below. Let me know if this is helpful, how it helped you. Give me a few takeaways. And then obviously if you want me to speak on something, throw some topics out there, some things that you're wrestling with. If you consider this, I'd like to do maybe every Friday, Hot Seat Coaching Friday. And I've been considering doing it live so that you can all ask questions. I can really answer those questions live with you all. It's just that I don't know if the time at 8 a.m. is going to be good for you. So let's think about that. Maybe we'll do it around lunchtime. You can take your lunch break around 11 a.m. or 12 noon. I might consider that, but I need to hear from you all who are here watching so I can design it specifically for you, which is our family here at the on our channel, Essential Leaders Institute family. Okay, Essential Leaders family is what it is, basically. Teaching you how to become essential to your environment so that you are the game changer. Once again, guys, thank you so much. Stay positive on purpose and stay blessed by the best. We'll see you next time.